ready for this?
Yes.
Who played the best Batman?
Oh, God. Well, there's been a lot of Batmans. There's almost been as many Batmans as there has been James Bond, as far as actors go. But we gotta name them off. Cody, name us off all the Batman actors that you can think of.
Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and Christian Bale, and Adam West.
And Ben Affleck.
Oh.
And Val Kilmer. And Kevin Conroy.
Val Kilmer.
Oh, yeah. I say, do we include Kevin Conroy?
Of course, you have to include Kevin Conroy.
I don't know. I feel like apples to oranges.
He is the quintessential Batman voice.
Well, I'll say he's the best animated Batman. I feel like it's apples to oranges a little bit to include Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you would have to, like, if you were going to do Jokers, you would have to include Mark Hamill.
Yeah, and that throws the whole thing off. I'm like,
all right.
But as far as actors go, Cody, you go first. Who is your favorite Batman actor?
I like Christian Bale.
You like Christian Bale, do you? Yeah, I feel like that would have been the... I'm predicting that's going to be the most common answer amongst us. Just because he is in the best Batman films. I think we all agree with that. But,
it's obvious.
But what about his performance did you like the most? Just because it was realistic?
Just because he's the best looking one. I mean, if I were gay, I would definitely want to hang out with him.
This is a common theme with Cody tonight. He's trying to tell us something.
Yeah. What are you trying to get at? I'm trying to understand something. All right, so he's handsome.
Yeah. You just, you can't beat Christian Bale. You just can't. They're a different style of film. I'm sure Michael Keaton would have done just as well in the same Batman movie if, Christopher Nolan would have chosen Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton probably would have been my favorite, but maybe it was the direction that was different. I don't know. Yeah. But I think Christian Bale pulled it off.
It's hard to separate direction and acting, and I guess like all those little nuances that play into it. But I guess if we're using the same context, like which Batman do we enjoy watching the most? Not necessarily, because it's hard to debate the best. I guess it just comes down to I enjoyed watching that Batman more than that Batman type of thing. Not the movie, the character. But yeah, all right, Christian Bale. Luke, what about you?
This is a tough one because I'm kind of a split personality when it comes to Batman. And Batman, for the record, is my favorite superhero.
Yeah, quote unquote.
I don't know. My favorite movies are the Nolan movies. Nolan movies.
That's easy, yeah.
That's an easy one, obviously. But the Batman of my youth was Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. That's what I grew up with. So I have to say Michael Keaton.
Because of the nostalgia?
Because of nostalgia. Because that's the Batman that introduced me to Batman. But I will say I am very much so looking forward to Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Interesting.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm still mixed on his casting.
Are you looking forward to it as in you're just intrigued as to how the heck he's going to play it, or you actually are just a huge fan of his?
I'm intrigued on how he's going to play it. I think he's an interesting actor. Mm-hmm. More than anything. I'm not a super huge fan one way or the other.
Right.
I think I'm just I'm intrigued on how he's gonna do it. I think DC really screwed up with how they directed Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck actually could have been a cool Batman. I really do. I think he could have suited the part. I think he really bulked up for the part. And I actually like the style of Ben Affleck's Batman. I really do. I like his fighting style. I like how they directed the fight scenes. But story-wise, garbage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Michael Keaton, just from nostalgic purposes.
Yeah, I just a quick side note. I agree with the Ben Affleck part. I feel like that whole backlash thing was so stupid when it came out, and for the most part, I don't think those movies are not his fault at all.
No,
not his fault. And there's a lot of discussion as to whose fault that was about why those movies suck, but it certainly is not his. It's not Henry Cavill's. It's not Gal Gadot's. No, not their faults. They did a good job. And for the record, I think I told you guys before. I passed by when I used to work at Sony. I passed by Ben Affleck, unsuspecting. Like, as I passed by him, I was like, this gargantuan man. I was like, dude, who the heck is this dude? And it turned out to be Ben Affleck as I walked past him. And I was so surprised because it was like right before they announced that he was going to be Batman. And I always just picture Ben Affleck as kind of like this scrawny dude from Armageddon or Good Will Hunting. And then I passed by him and he's like, wait, I'm 6'2", and this, I think Ben Affleck's like 6'3", 6'4", something like that. And he's just like, he was like bulked up. And I remember thinking like, wow, that guy's like massive. And the news came out that he was going to play Batman and everyone was like, no. And I was like probably the only one going, guys, I just saw this dude and he's massive. Like, I don't think you guys understand. He's a big dude. And I was actually like, dude, I think he can pull it off. I can see him as Batman. That guy can totally kick my butt.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no,
quick side story.
Like watch the fight scenes in those movies, Justice League and Batman v Superman, and it's great. But just watch the fight scenes.
Yeah,
you know,
more or less.
Like that's it.
All right, Joel, what's your pick?
I keep going back to your point, Dylan, which is which one I find the most entertaining to watch. And trying to put aside, just like with the James Bond films, trying to put aside the actual films and like what I would prefer as like just content wise, I have to go with Michael Keaton too, because I think he is. I feel like Christian Bale, I think did a good job, but it's also, it just, I mean, he didn't like really step out of bounds as far as like the way he portrayed that character. He just like was very monotoned and like would scream every now and again, and that was about it. He was pretty like, it was just like steady. It was a steady like acting job, and I feel like Michael Keaton was like all over the place and just overall much more entertaining. I thought he was funnier. I thought like the action he actually pulled off, and like being serious and just looking cool, even though when you look at him like in real life, you're like that he played Batman. But overall, and that might have been, helped by Tim Burton, just like his directing choices or whatever, to make him actually look cool. But I don't know. I just, and nostalgia factor definitely props up that as well. But I think I'm just much more entertained by that Batman than the Nolan Batman.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's very interesting in that role. I've been trying to like understand how he got that role and why it works so well, because you wouldn't suspect him as even if we today had to recast Batman and Michael Keaton was the same age today as he was 30 years ago, I think people would be like, dude, what are you talking about? That's the weirdest casting choice ever. And that's what happened back when he was casted. Yeah, that's really a bizarre thing. But to me, it comes down to like it's Christian Bale or Michael Keaton. Those are the two popular choices. Val Kilmer was okay. George Clooney, of course, no one likes that one. Ben Affleck was all right. But I think this is going to be so out of left field. But Cody can vouch for me on this one. I think my favorite Batman to watch, in the context of just the Batman I like to watch, is Adam West, as a matter of fact. And I know, totally out of left field, but Cody can vouch because when we were younger, when we used to go to the video store and we had to rent a movie, back before I knew any better, what was the one movie I'd always rent over and over and over, Cody? What would it be?
Mortal Kombat.
Now, that one too, but there was another movie I used to rent constantly.
60s Batman.
Yeah, it was the 1960s Batman movie. It had like, not the TV show, but it's like the movie from the TV show, that was like, had all the villains in it. Has like shark repellent and all these like, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Right. That to me is beyond entertaining. It's just so classic, and I love it. And again, I'm not suggesting that they're good. It's a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, it's like if we wanted to pick a modern Batman, though, of like the realistic dark take, I'd probably lean towards, I don't know, split tie between Christian Bale and Michael Keaton. That's a hard bet. I'd probably go with Michael Keaton as far as which ones I like to enjoy more. probably just by like a hair. But I'd probably say like if I had to watch any Batman right now, like a performance of Batman, I'd be like, put on the Adam West one. It's gonna be way more entertaining to me. I don't know, totally out of left field, but that's my opinion.
Interesting.
I'm picking all the
Adam
60s
West.
ones. I'm picking Sean Connery and Adam West. I like the 60s apparently.
I know. What the heck is wrong with you?
You know what's funny? If it was 1996, I'd probably say Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Like
he
if I
great.
was like, 12 years old, I'd be like, hell yeah, Val Kilmer. He was like awesome.
And you know what? If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably say George Clooney if they were telling me to say George Clooney.